Hello guys, this is Travis with Beyond Bipolar blog. I'm here with my brother. Today we're going to discuss about Sertraline. So let's get to it. I'm going to ask my brother, what is Sertraline and why do you take it?
Hey guys, this is Kyle Balitz with Beyond Bipolar blog. So I wanted to ask I want to speak about Sertraline and what it is. Sertraline has a brand name. It's called Zoloft. With drugs, they're kind of weird. I don't know why, but I think maybe it's with marketing that they have a generic name and like the official scientific name. Sertraline is also known as Zoloft. And I remember in these commercials, Zoloft was one of those people that was the commercial with the little blob, I believe, and it was really down and depressed. I don't know if some of you remember. It was probably a decade ago that they would do it. So the funny thing is, like I said, Sertraline is an SSRI, but I actually was on another antidepressant previously, which was Lexapro.
We can only discuss about Sertraline. We can do another one after that.
But we will discuss Lexapro later. But anyway, to talk about Sertraline, again, it's a serotonin reuptake inhibitor,
Which is an SSRI.
Which basically is something with, it messes with your
Dopamine.
Is it the dopamine levels?
I want to say dopamine.
The dopamine levels, and raises
serotonin.
it, or serotonin levels.
No,
I think with dopamine, that actually that relates to maybe schizophrenia.
ADHD.
or ADHD. I can't remember. But anyway, again, Sertraline is a SSRI, and it's an antidepressant that supposedly makes you feel better. So I've been on it since, I believe, maybe 2013, I think, maybe, or 12. But I've been on it for a while, and the funny thing is with me, since I'm just depressed, I don't know if I feel much of a difference on it. I mean, sometimes when I forget the pill, I don't even know if I haven't taken it or not, especially during the day. Like, I don't really feel any symptoms. I sometimes don't even know if it actually really improves my mood, because sometimes I still wake up feeling kind of depressed, and my day is depressed. I just have to get going, and actually what makes me feel better is actually coffee and just waiting till I wake up, and also getting enough sleep, which is actually more beneficial than anything, to be honest. But I still stay on it, and I do notice when I take it with my sleeping pill, trazodone, I actually do sleep a little better. So it's important that I take both the antidepressant and the sleeping pill at the same time. But anyway, some other effects. I don't think there's actually any weight gain. I mean, I could eat like anything I want, unlike my brother who's on a whole bunch of different meds. He has to be more cautious with his meds, because otherwise he'll gain a lot of weight. So I don't know if I do notice that there's, with antidepressants, they sometimes say that there's aggression, and it brings out this like mixed state of anger and aggression, and sometimes people relate it to like gun shootings and violence, but I don't know if it really calms me down anger-wise either, because I don't know, there's some days I feel angry, but I think mainly what it has mainly helped with primarily is mainly anxiety, I think. Now it's hard to tell, because I used to suffer from extreme anxiety. I hated going out of my house. I rarely talked to anyone, but maybe I just had to get used to people and learn how to go out of my comfort zone, and I became a lot more comfortable, and I enjoy being around people. Now, can we relate that as more a situational thing, or was it more of a chemical thing? I don't know. I can't tell you much about it, but perhaps it has reduced my anxiety. Yeah, I still sometimes feel anxiety when I have to go to a new job or anything new, but other than that, it's hard to tell. Is there any other specific questions you want to ask about Sertraline?
Can you pretty much start at a target dose, or do you have to wean off?
Typically, you do start at a smaller dose. Right now, I believe I take 25 ml during the morning and 25 ml at night. So that's like 50 ml. And I think that's still a very low dose. I believe my psychiatrist said you can go up to 200, which I haven't really done. I guess I'm more of a person that likes to be in the lowest doses that's possible. Again, I don't want to get addicted to it. Maybe I am slightly because I need it in order to feel a little better. But like I believe in anything, moderation is the key. You don't want to overdo it.
Do you think sertraline is a good drug?
I feel like sertraline's a pretty good drug. I mean, even when I was on Lexapro, I felt like it was a good drug. I still got depressed during the winter times, which was my issue, which probably because of the lack of sunlight and cold air, it just made my mood go a lot lower. So I wanted to ask my brother a few questions. Were you on sertraline at all or antidepressants, and has it affected your bipolar?
Things are pretty vague and I don't remember much, but I can tell you that it was either Lexapro or sertraline. It would induce like sensitivity to light, and whenever I wake up I would just really, like, I don't know how to explain it, just piercing light. It was just very hard on my eyes.
So you didn't feel akathisia
I didn't have suicidal tendencies. I didn't have akathisia or restlessness. I did feel like it wasn't gonna work because I don't know, the eye strain is really what gave me a problem. I knew I didn't want to be on it anymore. At least when I'm on Zoloft, it doesn't induce it at all.
And Zoloft is the same SSRI or is it a different drug? Because how come?
I believe it's an SRNI, which is a neuroreparin.
Do they give that to bipolar people, that drug you're on, versus the antidepressant?
I hate to say this.
Can you explain a little bit about that?
If you are bipolar, I do not recommend taking an antidepressant alone. It's noted that I am on an antidepressant, but I'm also on an antipsychotic, Latuda, and a mood stabilizer, Lamictal. So that's why I feel I can add that. But that alone is something you got to be careful with, because it can induce mania, which could induce psychosis or suicidal ideation, mixed moods, mixed episodes. So you got to be very careful with that.
So you had a psychiatrist that was so afraid to have you go on antidepressant. Is it normal for bipolar people to be on an antidepressant, and why is it so concerning? What happens versus?
Well, to be honest with you, like I said before, she's trying to play it cautious because she thinks that when I get manic, it would induce psychosis and a whole bunch of other things related to symptoms of mania, heavy spending, impulsive behavior, hypersexualization, things like that. And, she wasn't playing her role right. She just wanted to play things cautious because she believed certain things. But I believe that if I had this belief that I feel like an antidepressant might actually help me with the suicide ideations, then I'm going to put myself on it.
I want
to put myself on it.
Is that true?
And ever since I've been on Zoloft, I haven't needed an opportunity, or I haven't had a need to go into an URGS or hospitalization.
Now, when do you take your antidepressant? Because it's strange, because you said that sometimes you don't even notice that you forget your meds, except when you're driving.
We're talking about sertraline though, so I don't take it. Which actually reminds me, do you take sertraline at night or in the morning?
I take it both.
Oh, you can't just take it all.
And they actually
at
recommend
night.
that I could actually just take it all, like 100 ml or 50 ml, which is 2 pills at the same time. But I like to take one at morning, one at night, just to split it. You don't really have to. I guess we can talk about food.
Why do they call it ML? Because when I have drugs, they
or
usually
it's
call
MG. I'm sorry, MG milligrams. It's completely wrong. But anyway, I wanted to mention that I think with most of anything, it's probably good to take it with food. I don't know if it's really necessary with the antidepressant. I don't know if it's necessary with the trazodone, but it probably is good to take it a little bit with food, or at least water too, so it could work a little faster.
Now, does it cause weight gain or?
I don't think it does. For me, I haven't had any issues with weight.
So that means it's pretty much weight neutral.
I feel like it's weight neutral. It's pretty much a neutral drug. It's such a neutral drug that I don't even know if I'm getting benefits or not, aside from the fact that it does help me sleep a little bit better at night. But like I said, when I forget the dose, I don't even know that I haven't taken it, because half the time I don't even know when I'm feeling bad, because sometimes I feel bad even when on it. So it's...
Would you recommend the drug to other people with anxiety, depression?
I would recommend this drug if you have anxiety, especially because benzodiazepines like Klonopin, maybe you can list other Xanax, are very highly addictive. And I actually don't even recommend those drugs at all, because they're so addictive that it could cause you suicidal ideations or akathisia, that you might end up in the hospital or end up killing yourself. So to me, it's a very dangerous drug. Like we mentioned before, Dr. Jordan Peterson was on it, and he didn't realize that it had addictive effects, and he ended up having to go hospitalized at a very high-end doctor. So that's a very dangerous drug. I feel like antidepressants, most of them, Sertraline, Lexapro, are fairly non-intrusive drugs.
Now, do you remember any time where the drug ever induced like fatigue or somnolence? Or
I think when I first took it at the beginning, there's always a fatigue where you feel a little tired. But I don't know if I think most antidepressants do cause you to feel tired, ironically. When you take a drug, you expect to be like this happy-go-lucky guy, and then I hate to say it, that's not true. Usually with me, it's not that. I still get depressed. I still feel down sometimes. I did have suicidal ideations even when I was on the drug. So it's not a miracle drug, but if you believe in the benefits of the chemicals, it can help. Whether it's more about a placebo effect, I don't know. And again, with all these drugs, I feel like there's a lack of long-term studies of these effects. Whether they help you or not, it's pretty much just depends on the person. So I'm still gonna stay on it. I don't know if I need to go off it. I don't really plan going off it, because I know if I do, I'll probably end up being worse.
Can you stop the drug cold turkey?
I think with anything, it's never good to stop the drug cold turkey, but I feel like with sertraline, there's probably less effects. I know with trazodone, which was the sleeping med that we talked about earlier, that is more problematic. But with an antidepressant and just being a depressed person, I think it's okay. But if you have bipolar, I'd be pretty careful about cutting yourself off it, as because of the bipolar, it's a lot more trickier.
Now, the last question I have to ask is, how expensive is the drug? Is it affordable?
I think the drug's fairly affordable. I don't remember the exact price with insurance, but I never had any issues with it. I might be speaking out of my rear, but I think trazodone might be more expensive, let alone my brother's is way more expensive. Based off are antipsychotics more expensive than antidepressants? I feel like that's the truth.
Way more expensive.
So sertraline is fairly affordable. If you're depressed, try it. If you have bipolar, try it, but only with caution. Again, it's not an intrusive drug. It may help you, it may not, but you shouldn't have to worry about going off the deep end compared to some other drugs like antipsychotics, which really affect you. I mean, I've been on Invega, which we'll talk about later too. That affects you a lot more than sertraline. And to me, antidepressants in general, at least for maybe the newer ones like sertraline.
Now, if people drink alcohol with the drug, is there effect to that, or you felt effects, or not really?
It's hard to tell. With alcohol, whenever you drink, you're always gonna feel like crap during the day. And it depends on how much you drank and whether you got enough sleep during the day. But with sertraline, I feel like antidepressants, again, are so non-intrusive that you can drink a little bit, versus bipolar med and versus antipsychotic, you got to be a lot more careful.
All right, well, that's pretty much the last question. Is there anything you want to add?
I think that's it. I guess I just want to make a quick update. We had a nice Korean adoptee dinner with our Kimchi Club at Hoban. Another group there from Pastor Park was there, and it was really fun. Again, I think the best antidepressant is socializing with people, getting enough sleep. You can't just rely on just an antidepressant to feel better. You got to actually take steps to sometimes go out of your comfort zone, and things will become more comfortable. So again, I think people should be a little bit more open to using drugs. They're not all bad. I'm gonna probably still be on it the rest of my life. I know some people go off it, and with me it never worked because I feel like I still got depressed anyway. So in the end, whether or not, again, use a light box, practice good sleep hygiene, eat enough food, exercise especially is a really, really good antidepressant. You may feel depressed when you're working out, but when you're done, you'll always, I guarantee it, always feel better. Again, it's all about accumulation of things and having a good balance of all these things. So we're about doing things in balance and moderation and seeing the whole picture of things. So anyway, I think that's it. Is there anything you want to add?
Nope.
Okay, thanks guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell button to stay up to date for future updates. And I think that's it. Take care, guys. Bye.